What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. We have the third build for you guys of Season of the Haunted here, with our Warlock coming in hot with some Fusion Lord action. This build right here is super nutty if it's done right, and it is kind of crazy how much damage these fusion grenades do for our Warlock. Everything about Solar 3.0 is pretty solid in all seriousness. Love the reworks. I know I have heard a lot of people complain about it compared to Stasis and Void, so we will see how it plays out for the rest of the season once people get more into it and really start making some crazy builds. So right here for our Warlock, we are looking mighty mean. Now for the build, we're going to be using Wither Horde for the damage on the weapon, as well as ad control, plus the tick damage that this thing provides. Pairs perfectly for this build with Starfire Protocol and our fusion grenades that we will be using. Now pairing that with our energy weapon right here, I'm going to be using this Borrowed Time with Demolitionist on it. So every time I throw a grenade, this thing is going to reload itself because of Demolitionist. Super great perk to combine with a grenade build. You can also throw on the new Callus mini tool that has a perk on it, just like our heavy does right here, with incandescent. So I'm going to be using fixed odds here, but like I said, for an energy slot you can throw on Callus mini tool with this perk as well. So incandescent, defeating a target spreads scorch to those nearby targets, and more powerful combatants and opposing guardians cause the scorch in a larger radius. So that just means when we get defeats with our fixed odds, we're going to be spreading that scorch damage, which is going to be ticking enemies, which is going to again help with this fusion build here. Moving on to our super, we are going to be using Well of Radiance actually, because it provides us with a few different things. So when we thrust our sword into the ground, we damage and scorch nearby targets. This grants us restoration and radiant effects to us and nearby allies, and protecting them from effects of stasis, which is kind of cool for those strikes that we are going to be going through, which have stasis effects inside of them. We're going to be using that Well of Radiance even with the little nerf to it, because it provides us with that healing and empowering bonuses to our Warlock like our rifts do. And on top of that, I am going to be using our empowering rift so we can get a little bit more damage, plus it pairs what we need it to with our Starfire Protocol. A jump is personal preference. I use the balance glide here. Now I am a personal fan of this melee right here, the incinerator snap. You snap your fingers to create a fan of burning sparks that explode and scorch the target. So that again will be that tick damage, plus once we start stacking it up, we are going to get those gigantic solar explosions with the ignition. Pairing that right here, we have our baby, the Fusion Grenade, which is the build all around this bad boy right here. An explosive grenade that attaches itself, damaging and moderately scorching them on detonation. So once again, building up those scorch and damage ticks, as well as igniting enemies. Now for our aspects here, we're going to be using Icarus Dash just because I feel like Heat Rises is really not that great right now. Plus we are going to be building around the fusion grenade, so we don't want to have to consume it. So we're going to be using Icarus Dash, so when you are in the air, you can dodge quickly while airborne. Kind of nice to get out of situations. Now right here we have Touch of Flame. This one is super important because our fusion grenades explode twice. This is super important for that crazy damage we're going to be getting with these fusion nades, because we're going to be having them all the time. Now for our fragments right here, they all deal with helping us get more melee energy, more grenade energy, as well as keeping us alive and spreading that scorch. So first off right here we have Ember of Char, so your solar ignitions spread scorch to an affected target, so that is really nice. That solar ignitions, because we're going to be getting scorch a lot, will spread to targets a lot better. Next off right here, we have Ember of Eruption. So those solar ignitions, again, are going to have an even increased area of effect. So it just kind of pairs perfectly with our first one of Char right there. Moving on to our third one, we have Ember of Searing. This right here, defeating those scorched targets, grants us melee energy. So because we're going to have Scorch everywhere, we're going to get back our snap very, very quickly, spreading that damage again via the snap and all the other Scorch that we have. Finally, right here, we have Ember of Wonder. So rapidly defeating targets with solar ignitions, create orbs of power. We're going to be using those orbs of power inside some of our armor mods. Plus, it helps us get that plus 10 resilience to reach 100 resilience and 100 recovery. And like I said, having that Scorch stack up, causing ignitions, we're going to be able to create a decent amount of orbs of power. So those aspects and fragments pair perfectly with the armor mods that we have right here. So first off, we have Harmonic Siphon. Rapid weapon final blows with damage matching your subclass type creates orbs of power. So that's going to go perfectly with those solar ignitions that are going to help us create more orbs of power via both our borrowed time and our fixed odds. Now, on top of that, we're going to have Elemental Armaments, so defeats with both of those weapons again, because it matches our subclass of Solar, has chances of granting us Elemental Wells, and if you guys watch the channel, you know your boy loves Elemental Wells. Moving on to our arms right here, we are going to have Impact Induction, so causing damage with our melee, reduces our grenade cooldown, so we are going to be getting our grenade back even faster. With our snap, we're going to cause damage, causing us to have reduced grenade cooldown. On top of that, we're going to have Elemental Ordnance, so defeating combatants with those grenades spawn Elemental Wells that match our subclass, so we're going to be spawning even more Solar Elemental Wells with our fusion defeats, and we have 2 of them. Now this is because of our Starfire Protocol right here. So as you can see, fusion grenades have an additional charge and recharge from empowered weapon damage. Fusion grenade kills grant rift energy. So this is perfect because when we are inside our empowering rift and throw on that Wither Horde, it has that nice tick damage where we are going to get our grenades back almost instantly. And we have 2 of them, so it's going to just be a consistent flow of these grenades. On top of that, when we actually get the defeats with the fusion rifle, we will be able to get our rift back even faster because those fusion grenades grant us rift energy. Now for our mods on this, we just complement the build with machine gun reserves and concussive dampener to help with damage, and then also bountiful wells so we can stack 2 of our elemental ordinances. So when we are throwing our grenades around, we are going to be spawning 2 elemental wells per fusion kill. Now on our boots right here, we have the reason that we are going to be creating orbs of power via those solar ignitions, as well as that harmonic siphon on our helmet with innervation right here. So reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power, once again allowing us to spam our grenades even faster. Now with Elemental Ordnance, again, when we pick up those grenade kills, we are spawning Elemental Wells, which is super nice, and we can stack that with this one because of Bountiful Wells right there. Last but not least, on our class item, as always, we have Classy Restoration. So when we pop down our Empowering Rift, we are going to be granted Restoration. And on top of that, again, another way we're going to be getting grenades back even faster is with Well of Radiance. So picking up all those Solar Elemental Wells that we will be creating via our 1, our weapons, and then 2, our fusion grenades. We will be able to pick them up, which grants us additional grenade energy. So it's just a crazy synergy between everything coming together, with the Scorch being able to empower ourselves via our well, and our Rift with Classy Restoration giving us that healing back, and then being able to just spam fusion grenades with some crazy damage. I definitely think everybody, even if you aren't a Warlock main, need to try out this build right here. Super fun to just hawk these grenades around, get all of that solar explosion, and we really just encompass the Solar 3.0 builds and the Solar 3.0 updates that Bungie gave us. So thank you guys again so much for that support lately. Means the world to me. Hopefully this helped you guys out with a nice Warlock build, especially for grenades. So thank you guys so much again for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.